What is 2 times 0? Booyah! You know it right away, it's actually still 0. Multiply any number by 0 and you still get 0. However, what's 2 times 0.5%? That's right, we've got a 1% chance, baby. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Raid Shadow Legends video with me, your bald-headed boy Scribe. How the devil are we doing? Smash that like button, slap it around just a little bit like you're mad at it because you deserve it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget, brand new players that sign up using my QR code or the link in the description will be getting access to the legendary unit Tholin Foulbeard, as well as 3 fantastic epic support units in Fane, Allure, and Tagore. Here's how you do it. First of all, make sure you sign out of your Plarium Play account. Use my QR code or click the link in the description and sign up with a brand new email account. Once you've played through the tutorial of Raid, you'll be able to go into your inbox and collect your first legendary unit, Tholin Foulbeard. This guy will dominate the campaign as well as many of the early game dungeons. But it doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go ahead and use the promo code SUPERVICTORY. This will get you access to Pelops the Victor, an absolutely phenomenal tanky unit in the game that pairs so well with Tholin that you will blitz through the campaign and start your account off fantastically. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we have got double drop chances on all of our Ancient Shard pulls. What does that mean? It means that our likelihood of pulling both epics and legendaries from Ancient Shards has been in fact doubled. 16% chance for an epic and a whole boom, 1% chance. However, I will take double the chance of a legendary over nubble the chance. Nubble, is that a word? It probably isn't. So anyway, we don't have a heck of a lot of Ancient Shards to pull through today, but I'm going to do it anyway because sometimes I need a little bit of a dopamine boost from smashing through a bunch of Ancient Shards, and I'm hoping that you will join me for the ride and let me know if I pull anything good. I'm going to start off with this one because I've got 71 shards, which is just tickling my OCD in a really weird way. So I want to round it off to 70 and then we'll just pull through all of them and hope that we get a legendary. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So, first pull of the day, we have got the Apothecary. I'm pretty sure he's actually decent. I've seen him being mentioned in various videos, so I'm not sure, but I think this guy is actually pretty good. Attacks 3 times at random. That's okay. We've heals target ally by 35%. This heal can be critical. You can critically heal somebody. Isn't that wonderful? Boon of Speed, a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns, and once you have ascended with 3-star ascension, you will fill the turn meter for all allies by 15%. That's actually pretty good. Cooldown of 3 once he's booked out. Aura, defense in all dungeons by 21%, at least at this point. Seems okay. I don't know. You'll tell me. Let's go ahead, start smashing through these 10 pulls. Hit me, Raid. Hit me hard, hit me good. What have we got? Ooh, we've got an epic already. Scabrius. That's almost like Scribulus, but very, very close. Another epic. Tagore. God damn it, this is like my 3rd Tagore. I suppose that's probably a good thing. I haven't really looked into, when you double up and get the +1s on your units. I use Tagore a lot. I do very much like him. Scabrius. So tell me in the chat, Scabrius any good? Gutter Knife, level 1, attacks 1 enemy, 50% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. That's not bad. If you max him out, it goes to 70%. That's okay. Gnawing Horde over here. Attacks all enemies, 75% chance of placing Leech. Leech is pretty decent, like a little bit of health steal. Vicious Spite is a 3, attacks 1 enemy, 75% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. Also places a 50% increase attack buff on this champion for 2 turns if weaken is placed. That seems okay. Ascension passive over here. Damage increases by 20% when attacking enemies under poison. He seems decent, Scabrius. Everybody let me know in the chat. I'm just going to have a look through over here. I'm not going to look at Tagore. We are very familiar with Tagore here. All right. Another 10 pull. Come on. Hit me harder. Hit me quick. Rocktooth, no. Hellfreak, Diabolist, no. I mean, that one was a bit of a bum pull there, ladies and gentlemen. We absolutely didn't pull anything of any use, of any value there. And well, actually, you tell me, but I don't think any of these have got value. Let's keep going then. Come on, give me another epic at the very least. I deserve at least one more epic. Surely we deserve another epic. Skullsworn over here, Magus Guardian, Conquestador, Gallic, no. We're getting skunked, guys. We're getting skunked. These Ancient Shards are not proving to be the best pulls for me today. Oh, we got an epic. Who's that? Sepulture Sentinel and High Katoon and Geomancer. Now, that is a good pull. I do know that Geomancer is pretty doped. Wow. Holy cow. Did we get 4 epics that run? I know that Geomancer is actually pretty dope. So let me know how you're supposed to use him. I will read through the kit. Sepulchre Sentinel over here. She has got... Can you imagine how heavy that hair is? I mean, she must have the world's strongest neck. Alright, Sword of Withering level 1 attacks one enemy, 40% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff. If you max her out, how much does she get? An extra, what, 20% to that? So 60% chance? That seems okay, I guess. Places a 60% increased defense buff and block debuff buffs on all allies for 2 turns. That actually seems pretty cool. Only 1 book to get it down to a 4-turn cooldown. It's okay, actually. I like, block debuffs and increased defense is pretty dope. Then we've got an Ascension skill over here. 25% chance of completely blocking incoming damage when an ally is attacked. Occurs once per turn. Will only block damage if the target ally... For the target ally, if multiple allies are attacked at the same time. Okay, so it can stop AoE damage potentially once. Okay. And then defense in all battles by 25%. She seems okay. She seems okay. Hi, Katoon. Not going to look at her. Armina, a barbarian. Holy moly. Oh, Lord, she coming. All right, then. Discipline staff. Attacks one enemy, 35% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. Stun's a great debuff, and we can increase it to 45% overall. Trampling Rampage attacks all enemies, a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased debuff for 2 turns. Steals 7.5% of turn meter from targets under decreased defense. That's actually pretty good. And you can get it down to a 3-turn cooldown and increase that debuff chance by 25%. So you can 100% chance. That actually seems pretty good. Ear Splitter Elbow. Decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 20%. Has a 75% chance of placing a stun beaver for 1 enemy who has their turn meter fully depleted. That's cool. She's got 2 stuns. She's got a lot of turn meter control. Head of Steam fills this champion's turn meter by 10% each time an enemy receives a stun. Wow, she's got a lot of stun synergy. Armina seems okay, to be honest. Let me know. Chat. Is Armina okay? So Geomancer, I've heard, is actually very good. I recognize Geomancer as the name. Okay. So attacks all enemies, 30% chance of placing a 50% decrease accuracy debuff. We like decrease accuracy, and we can add that up to 60% in total. A2, Creeping Petrify. Removes all buffs from the target enemy, then attacks them. Steals all buffs instead if they are under an HP burn debuff placed by this... it has to be by this champion, that's a shame. Reduces the cooldown of Quicksand Grasp by 2 turns if the target is killed by this skill whilst under HP burn debuff placed by this champion. So, Quicksand Grasp, it is an ascended skill. Fully depletes the target's turn meter. I like that. Turn meter control. 75% chance of placing an HP burn and a 25% weaken debuff on the target for 3 turns. Once this is ascended, it also fills this champion's turn meter by the amount the target loses. So basically, you are going to take an extra turn, right? Fully deplete the target's turn meter, and then if you fully depleted it, you're going to gain a whole turn. Well, actually, I suppose they would have to have full turn meter for that, but that's still a really good turn meter boost. Still got this. How much can we get that debuff chance up to? Fully booked, it becomes a 3-turn cooldown, and you've got, what, an extra, was that 15, 25%? Yeah, 100% chance of placing that HP burn. I can see why this guy is good. Straight away we can see. We've got Stone Guard passive, decreases the damage all allies receive by 15% and deflects that damage onto each enemy under an HP burn. That's good, placed by this champion. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate, yada yada yada. Whenever this champion is attacked, deflects 30% of the damage instead. Wow. When deflecting the damage on each enemy hit, has a 30% chance of dealing additional damage equal to 3% of this target's max hit points. Yep, he's definitely good. He's definitely good. Very happy that I pulled Geomancer. Already feels worthwhile to me. Finally, we've got Masked Fearmonger over here. It looks a little bit like this might be taking some creative liberties from a certain horror franchise. I don't know if you agree. What have we got? Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit decreases their turn meter by 7.5%. If the target is under fear or true fear, debuff. Reduces the cooldowns of this champion's Taste of Despair skill by 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. Okay. A2, Haunted Machete, attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a Fear debuff for 1 turn and a 75% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. 75% chance of placing True Fear debuff on 2 enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. One True Fear debuff will be placed on the enemy with the lowest turn meter, while 1 will be placed on the enemy with the highest turn meter. That seems pretty good. 3-turn cooldown as well. Can't decrease that any further, but you can increase that debuff chance by 25%, so you're definitely going to be landing that Fear debuff, and if you kill him, you're going to be 100% put in True Fear. Okay, well-used axe. Attacks one enemy. Will ignore 35% of the target's defense if this target is under fear or True Fear debuffs. That's good. It's, you know, has synergy over here. 5-turn cooldown. You can get it down to 4. At the ascended rank, attacks one enemy. Ignores 35. Yeah. So all that's the same. You can place block debuffs buff for 1 turn and a 30% increased speed buff for 2 turns and revive on death. That seems pretty good, okay. Then we've got his passive, Taste of Despair. Fill this champion's turn meter by 50% whenever an enemy HP drops below 20%. And then, ooh, wow, okay. You can bring it down to 4 turns. That seems pretty decent. Anyway, let's keep pulling. We have some shards left, I believe. Maybe 2 more pulls. Let's see. We may as well go all the way through. You may as well... Oh, there we go. Another epic over here. 2 epics. Dark Aethel, Vrask, and Juliana. Not too shabby at all. We are actually getting quite a few epics. So Vrask, he is of the Orcs faction. He's got a metal headpiece similar to Malak. Attacks one enemy, fills this champion by 20%, turn meter by 20% if this attack is critical. 100% crit chance, if you can get it up there, of course. 20% turn meter on a basic, and it doesn't have to be during his turn, so if you've got like an all-ally assist, that'll be cool. Attacks one enemy based on hit points. This doesn't seem that good. Maybe this has just got a really high damage modifier, I'm not sure. Heals this champion by 10% of their max hit points whenever they inflict a critical hit. Heals all allies by 10% of this max champion's hit points whenever they inflict a critical hit. It's starting to seem pretty good. If you get this guy to have a max hit point chance, you max out his health, you've basically got AoE heals, which is kind of cool. Increased defense in all dungeons. I don't know, it seems like a very simplistic kit, but it's probably got some use. Dark Aethel, not sure if I've ever used her. Attacks one enemy 2 times, 40% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Ascended, attacks one enemy 2 times, 40% chance. Oh, it's the more powerful version of decreased defense. Blades of Blood attacks all enemies, 50% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Attacks based on hit points, on attack, sorry. 5 turn, you can get it down to 4 turn, you can put it up to a 75% chance. It's okay. And then we've got Harvest of Despair, her A3, ladies and gentlemen. Attacks all enemies, 30% increased speed buff on all champions for 3 turns. If this attack kills 4 or more enemies, heals this champion by 50% of their current max hit points. If this attack kills 6 or more enemies. When are you going to kill 6 enemies with this AoE? Grants an extra turn if this attack kills 10 or more enemies. I'm so confused. This must be very specific. Is this versus like Spider or something? I don't know. Increase allies attack in all battles by 20%. Decent enough. All right, and then we've got Juliana of the Sacred Order. What have we got, Juliana? Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each critical hit fills this champion's turn meter by 10%. This feels very similar to Vrask, was it? Okay. Places a 30% increased crit chance buff on this champion for 2 turns, then attacks one enemy 2 times. Places a 5% poison debuff on the target for 3 turns if this attack is critical. It's the more powerful poison, that's good. Ignores 50% of the target's defense when Romero is on the same team. Yep, okay. It's 3-turn cooldown, so that's actually pretty cool. We've got an ascended skill over here. Fire of Purgation. Attacks one enemy, 75% chance of placing an HP burn debuff for 3 turns. Ascended, it removes all buffs from the target before doing it. That's not too bad. And you can book it up and get it, what's that, an extra 25% there to 100% HP burn, basically. Increase allies' critical rates in arena battles by 20%. Shouldn't seem that great to me. Don't know if I've got any more Ancient Shards. We might as well pull them through. We've had quite a lot of epics, which I'm quite happy about. Executioner Marquez. One more epic over here. Terror Beast. Terror Beast coming in hot. Cool. I think I already have a Terror Beast. Not sure. Attacks one enemy. 20% chance of increasing cooldown on one of the target skills by 1 at random. Shriek attacks 2 enemies at random. 30% reflect damage buff on all allies. And attacks one enemy 2 times. Fully heals this champion if the target is killed by this attack. Places a stun debuff for 2 turns if they survive. Seems okay. And Aura, HP in all battles by 25%. Are we done? No, we've got another 10 pull, ladies and gentlemen. I thought we were finished. Looks like another epic over there. Tayrel, let me know if that's any good. Another Apothecary. And then Fenshi over here. Okay, so Tayrel of the High Elves, wearing the most interesting mask that I've seen today. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 40% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense, and you can get that debuff chance up by an additional 10%. If he's attacking twice, that means 60%. You're almost guaranteed to have a decreased attack, which is quite useful versus most bosses. Singing Steel attacks all enemies, 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. If the target is under decreased attack, it will place a sleep debuff for 1 turn. Damage is proportional to defense, and you can increase that debuff chance to 100%. That's pretty good, actually. That seems pretty good. Attacks one enemy, decreases their turn meter by 50%. If the attack fully depletes the turn meter, it will stun them for 2 turns. And you can put it to a 4-turn cooldown. Seems okay. It's got an aura. Defense in all battles by 25%. Seems okay. Then we've got Fenchi, ladies and gentlemen, of the Shadowkin. There's something about the Shadowkin faction, I don't know if you agree, guys, but the Shadowkin faction just has really cool aesthetics. Or maybe I just happen to really like feudal Japan sort of stylistic, especially when it gets mixed with sort of demonology. Maybe that's why I like Onimusha so much. Hate Blades. Level 1. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed buff for 2 turns, and you can get that up by an additional 10%, almost guaranteeing that decreased speed. Nowhere to run. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 15%. You can increase that by an additional 25%, and you can put it to a 2-turn cooldown. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Yeah. I quite like that, because you've got, what, a 75% chance of decreasing their turn meter by 15%. Each hit can do it, so theoretically, you could actually decrease their turn meter heavily if you landed on all 3. I quite like that. And then we've got Killer's Bile. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit places a 5% poison debuff on the target for 3 turns. Ignores 10% of the target's defense for each poison debuff on the target. Pretty good. And you can put it down to a 3-turn cooldown. Not too bad, not too bad. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that is all of our shards. That is all of our shards. No legendaries for us, but several epics. Very happy about that Geomancer. Let me know, was there anything there that I missed that is probably going to be of value to my account? I would really, really appreciate it. Make sure you like before you leave and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out. Big love, baby.